This program lineup is brought to you by Vision Express.
NBC's Wednesday primetime lineup comes into focus with Vision Express. Fast, fashionable, focused.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adai Itano program. Apply at matson.com and McDonald's of Guam. I'm loving it.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime. Nearly 6 days on the run, police catch fugitive Shanita Pangilinan after getting a tip on where she was hiding out.
New U.S. tariffs are disrupting global markets, but what do they mean for Guam? I'm Nevaeh Anderson with how local businesses and families could soon feel the impact.
And the Office of Public Accountability raising concerns over hundreds of its audit recommendations being ignored by GovGuam agencies. A bill seeks to give them the authority to keep them accountable. Hafa and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz-Langus. Thank you so much for ending your day with us.
Breaking this midweek, the woman who kept local and federal law enforcement busy in recent days has been captured.
Fugitive Shanita Pangilinan was tracked down in Dededo thanks to the help of a community member calling in a tip.
Now, all 3 suspects in the Yigo kidnapping and shooting investigation have been caught, but the work for police is far from over to solve 2 other death investigations. More than 48 hours after her brothers were taken into police custody, Shanita Pangilinan's run from authorities came to a peaceful end. Guam police confirming investigators tracked her down in the Machinao area of Dededo Wednesday morning. Officers catching a break in the case after they received a tip from a member of the community. By Wednesday afternoon, police had not yet confirmed the charges Shanita faces. She was wanted in the kidnapping and shooting investigation that unfolded in Yigo last Thursday. Her brothers and co-actors Jathan Tatautau and Jeremy Pangilinan were arrested as well. As we reported, the trio allegedly attacked the victim with brass knuckles, tied him up, and kicked him while he was on the ground. Prosecutors alleged in court documents Tatautau shot the victim in the leg, but Guam police say the victim was shot in the torso before being left for dead. The victim remains in stable condition. Tatautau allegedly telling police he pulled the trigger to teach him a lesson. Investigators have not said if the case is drug-related. The siblings are no stranger to law enforcement. Shanita's prison records go back to 2019, where she was arrested on charges that include forgery and child abuse. Her latest arrest was in March of last year for assault and disorderly conduct. With one investigation wrapping up, detectives have yet to find suspects in the deadly shooting in Hoggett. Authorities also continue a separate death investigation after a decomposed body was found in Anigua last Friday.
Well, the impact of new and rising U.S. tariffs could soon hit closer to home, especially with the newly implemented 104% tariff on products imported from China to the U.S.
KUAM's Nevaeh Anderson breaks down what this means for Guam's economy and local consumers.
From rising costs to supply chain strains, Guam isn't immune to the ripple effects of U.S. trade policy. Today, local leaders and economists talk more about how Guam can brace for the impact of new and escalating tariffs.
To basically protect the interest of manufacturers, producers of similar products in your home country. It's a tax on products as they enter your country.
Dr. Roseanne Jones, economics professor and dean of the School of Business at UOG, says tariffs have long been used to retaliate against other countries, whether for political reasons or labor rights violations.
Today, it's retaliation against things like bringing fentanyl into the country or other exploitive measures from one country, or we don't like their politics or policies. A lot of businesses and consumers say, we understand that, but at the end of the day, we want our products in our market. We like a rich and diverse product market, and we'd like it at a reasonable price.
With over 60% of Guam's goods being imported from the U.S., Dr. Jones warns we could start seeing even higher prices on everyday items.
We will see, as we get our products from the United States, an increase in the cost of those goods because the United States is imposing a higher tariff rate.
But Guam's unique customs authority as an unincorporated territory means we don't quite have to match U.S. tariffs on goods from Asia, which make up the rest of our profile.
While the U.S. mainland and the states and Puerto Rico will have to bear the burden of the excess cost attributable to those tariffs from those countries, Guam does not.
For the dean, this gives Guam an opportunity to play a dual role, not just as America in Asia, but Asia in America. Guam Chamber of Commerce Chairman Tae-Oh says the tariff strategy might be intentional chaos to strengthen U.S. negotiating power.
They create chaos in order to leverage their positioning so that they could try to reap some of the benefits or come back to the table.
And while it's still too early to tell, some sectors may feel the sting more than others.
Food is definitely one. Another area is automotive, for sure, because unless some of our dealerships here are bringing in vehicles directly from Japan or Korea, that wouldn't be a problem.
As global tensions heat up, Guam's economic leaders are keeping close watch. Whether these tariffs bring lasting strain or spark strategic change remains to be seen. Nevaeh Anderson, KUAM News.
For years, Humanities Guahan has been a vital space for reflection, dialogue, and the exchange of ideas, honoring and preserving the traditions and cultures of the Chamorro and Micronesian peoples.
That's right. But now, after a devastating cut to its federal funding, this cornerstone of our community faces closure in both Guam and Saipan.
After more than 30 years in the Marianas, the nonprofit organization Humanities Guahan now faces closure in Guam and Saipan. This comes after the Department of Government Efficiency slashed nearly 100% of its funding through the National Endowment for the Humanities earlier this month.
To imagine our Marianas without the humanities, that's very difficult.
While Executive Director C.J. Ochoko, Board Chair Alfred Koshiba, and Vice Chair Rita Nauta were bracing for some funding cuts, nothing could have prepared them for a near-total elimination, and so abruptly.
Which basically means we don't get any funding, and as a council that is almost 100% funded through that, meaning we do not have any funding at this time.
The nonprofit is behind programs like Mother Read, a family literacy initiative, and Guahan Connects, which promotes civic reflection and conversation. It also funds projects for local groups to do their own humanities work, like Public Health, currently filming a foster care documentary, and Career Tech, whose upcoming series will document Chamorro ASL and its pioneers. But the future of critical work like this and the livelihood of those who facilitate it is now in jeopardy.
I don't think these are programs of value to the current administration, which is very unfortunate because having a well-informed, civically minded, civically engaged community is part of what built America.
Now Humanities Guahan is turning to the community for support while working with local leaders to find a path forward.
Especially in such a diverse community that we have here in Guam and the Marianas, empathy and understanding is so important. And so, humanities is really about the human condition and being able to cultivate understanding, empathy, and critical thinking. It's so necessary.
Meanwhile, CNMI Congresswoman Kimberlyn King-Hines is urging the Trump administration to reconsider the cuts following the termination of 3 grants to the Northern Marianas.
Hundreds of Office of Public Accountability audit recommendations get ignored by Government of Guam agencies, resulting in major tax leakage and loss of revenue, according to the OPA.
A bill currently before senators seeks to rectify the issue by expanding the OPA's enforcement authority. Mitsuki Hirayama has the details.
You can't continue to have an office that issues these reports and everybody just chucks it.
Public Auditor B.J. Cruz raising concerns over OPA audits being ignored despite follow-ups, pointing to a gap in their authority to hold agencies accountable.
But how many OPA recommendations have yet to be implemented on the average? And how many weeks, months, years have they sat idle?
It would be probably in the hundreds.
Cruz testified in support of Bill 17, which seeks to expand their enforcement power. Bill author Senator Sabina Perez.
It is unacceptable for agencies to disregard the public's trust by avoiding implementing potentially beneficial suggestions. Bill 1738 clarifies the public auditor's authority to petition the court when agencies ignore audit recommendations without valid justification.
Cruz is concerned about revenue loss, saying major tax leakage resulting from ignored audits should be addressed, especially with federal funding uncertainty. Within the next few days, the OPA will be issuing a performance audit on liquor tax collections.
You know that there's lots of liquor and you keep wondering why, when you look at the collection, it's practically nothing.
He says Customs and Quarantine failed to implement a previous audit recommendation to get a digital invoice scanner. This has made it impossible to accurately track liquor tax collections.
When we started this audit, they had to pull 16 officers off the floor to go into the warehouse, to go through hundreds of boxes, to find invoices to try to show where they received liquor shipments. It's impossible to say how much actually came in, how much was put on the shelves, how much went to the military, how much was exported to the outer islands, and how much was collected. We have no idea because that's not been done.
The OPA is also conducting performance audits on agencies that rely heavily on federal funds to ensure they're in compliance and not at risk of losing funding.
Because we don't want the Homeland Security to be a problem that's in other departments.
A similar bill was introduced last term but was vetoed by the governor. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
Up next, the former Joint Region Marianas commander fired from her representative position with NATO.
Plus, the Guam Education Board Chair speaks to the charges they voted to place on the Guam DOE superintendent. You're watching KUAM.
So I think self-expression comes from within, and I'm doing nebbing to express what I feel through garments, through fabric, and through styles. I took an idea of transforming the traditional muumuu into contemporary silhouettes. Why not be bolder, more creative with the way you present yourself to the world? I hope to empower women to feel the way that I feel when it comes to understanding and accepting different cultures. It's something more positive so that our communities can be in that same direction. Nebbing encourages a Micronesian woman of today to be bold, creative, passionate, and to freely express themselves without taking away from your own heritage, but just adding value to it.
In here, you can expect to find crystal clear audio, expansive display space, endless entertainment, and more comfort for everyone. But even with all that, we still left room for all the unpredictability, spontaneity, and unexpected things you'll find out here. The new 2024 Grand Cherokee lineup. Jeep, there's only one.
Leaving my phone and bush cutter outside. What's gonna happen? Ooh. Yep. Oh, take it. Come on, bro. It's free. Bro. Yo. Bro. Bro. Just take it.
Looking to ditch your old phone?
Take it.
Trade into Guam's most reliable network and get an extra $300 off the latest phones on any unlimited plan. GTA, we start with you.
NBC's Wednesday primetime lineup comes into focus with Vision Express. Fast, fashionable, focused.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam.
Well, questions continue to surround the charges the Guam Education Board approved for Department of Education Superintendent Dr. Kenneth Swanson, as the board has yet to disclose what the charges entail or their implications. GEB Chair Angel Sablan staying tight-lipped on the matter, telling KUAM it is a personal issue. As previously reported, the board held an emergency session last week, though discussions about the charges were conducted behind closed doors. The board is scheduled to meet again on April 15th.
We will be having a meeting on April 15th. We will again go into executive session, but after that session, we will go into a public meeting, and that's when the board members can discuss whatever actions they want to take with regards to Superintendent Swanson, and that's when the public will be able to know.
Meantime, Education Oversight Chair Senator Vince Borja calling for an oversight hearing with GDOE for April 16th to discuss federal policy changes and its impact on Guam's public education system.
At the heart of Guam, there's one place where everyone comes together. Kmart, your American superstore, celebrating 30 years with you. To our brave service members, enjoy a special military discount every day as our thanks. To our local community, we've grown with you, bringing trusted brands at prices you love. This season, celebrate with us. From fiestas to family gatherings, we're your one-stop shop. Since 1995, we've grown with you. Here's to 30 years of memories, savings, and the spirit of Guam. Kmart, where everyone is family.
GU Self-Storage, located in Harmon next to McDonald's, offers a variety of storage units. With rates starting as low as $95 per month, we offer complimentary use of dollies, push carts, Klein's hand trucks, and pallet jack, with a fully covered loading and unloading areas and ADA accessible units. We offer 24-hour CCTV surveillance monitoring, alarm, and individual pin-coded gate and door access, because your safety is our priority. GU Self-Storage, voted PICA's Best in 2024. Call 671-648-7867 today.
Anything's possible. College is possible. Retirement is possible. Adventure is possible. And so is saving for it all with a Bank Ohana 12-month CD special. You'll earn 3.6% APY with a minimum deposit of $5,000 from another bank. Requires a Bank Ohana checking account with an opening deposit of $500. So make your savings goals possible with one of America's most trustworthy companies. Anything's possible. Reach your possible with Bank of Hawaii.
Check it out. Pizza Hut's rippable, dippable Cheesy Bites pizza in Ranch Lover's Flight with 3 flavors is a game changer. With 28 cheesy-filled bites, everyone's gonna be dunking it. The Cheesy Bites pizza in new Ranch Lover's Flight. Get it on the Pizza Hut app.
Wesley kicks out. Simon, big three. Oh, baby! Leslie kicks out. Simon, big three. Oh, baby!
Don't need to worry, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
McDonald's meets the Minecraft universe with 6 new collectibles in a Minecraft movie meal.
Super speed your life with Docomo Pacific Fiber Internet. Get symmetrical upload and download speeds up to 5 gigs. Get started with Fiber 500 at $145 a month, Fiber 1 gig at $215 a month, or Fiber 5 gig at $299 a month. Plus, get 2 SuperPod 6Es with any plan, and a free EcoFlow River 3 and bonus welcome kit with 1 gig and 5 gig plans. Experience tomorrow's islands today with Docomo Pacific Fiber Internet.
Bye. I wish they could move back home.
Should we build on a honeymoon?
Yes. Yes!
First Hawaiian Bank knows that family comes first. That's why our bankers work with you to make your what-ifs a reality. Personalized service and digital tools, all under one roof when you bank on the best. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
Fiscal Fitness is made possible by our partner, Coast 360 Federal.
Strengthening your financial well-being one topic at a time. In this first installment of Fiscal Fitness, we're diving into a common but often overwhelming challenge, credit card debt.
Our friends from Coast 360 help break down the facts and offer practical advice to help you take control of your finances.
Hey everybody, I'm Jason Salas here in Mighty. I am back, and back is a very good friend of mine, Derek Bollinger, Consumer Loan Manager here at Coast 360. We are in Mighty, and Derek, thanks for joining me today on Fiscal Fitness, man. What are the most common forms of credit card debt, and more importantly, how can we avoid, kind of resisting temptation?
Yeah, credit cards can be used for anything and everything, and I think that's part of the blessing and part of the curse of credit cards. It's become such a convenient way to pay for things. And I think sometimes maybe we forget we're actually accumulating debt every time we swipe the card. And I think keeping that in mind can help, help remember that we're accumulating debt and not just getting a new toy or a new iPad, new watch.
Now, for the island economy, I mean, we highly encourage like shopping and commerce and everything like that. But is it being diligent about making your payments also that's very, very key?
Yeah, it's different for everybody. Some of us make more than others. Some of us can afford to put more on a credit card than others. And I think it's really just a matter of staying within your means. You don't want to use a credit card as a way to live beyond your means. If you can use a credit card as a tool and stay within your means, I think in most cases you'll stay out of trouble.
Okay, and that's very, very good advice, because obviously, you do basic arithmetic, and it's like, the more you spend and the more you charge on credit, if you're making the minimum amount of payments, that's going to get out of hand real quick.
Yeah, and credit cards, like other loan products, we charge interest. So if you're carrying these large balances on a credit card on a purchase you made several years ago, you're paying interest on that item still.
Okay, so what mindset should we as consumers have for having the self-discipline and the presence of mind to say, I'm going to make not just my payments on time, but I'm going to make them at the right level?
Yeah, and I think that's a big point, is self-discipline. If you're making a large purchase especially, I think you want to go into that with a plan. Know how much you want to you're able to pay and how much you want to make on the payments. That way you're not carrying that debt for a long time.
What is the kind of like ballpark range of the right credit balance to have? Like say like, you know, a student who just graduated from college, they're just getting into the workforce as opposed to a young family, like 32-year-olds, they just bought a house, they're having like a young baby and everything. What should the credit limit be?
You obviously need credit, you know, so establishing in those early phases of establishing credit, you know, you want to get credit where you can, but you want to be careful about getting too much credit, taking on too much debt, applying for too many loans, too many credit cards. Credit cards you don't have to spend, you know, so getting a credit card, using it wisely, doesn't mean taking it to its limit. You know, stay within a reasonable amount. You know, we like to recommend about 30% of the credit limit. Don't exceed that. Easier said than done. You know, but if you do have a credit card, you know, try to. We would recommend using that as a rule of thumb.
Also having a strategy that you want to follow. So how should people like kind of like have that general plan, not just for themselves but for their entire family, about how to pay down credit?
Well, I think first and foremost, you don't want to just look at your minimum payment. And I think that could be a pitfall for a lot of people where they're looking at, well, I can afford the minimum payment still. On your credit card statement, it'll tell you just how long it'll take you if you only pay minimum. And I think a lot of people will be surprised at how long it'll actually take. We're talking years, 10, 15, 20 years. So I think you want to avoid just paying the minimum. So when you do make purchases, I think you want to be able to identify the amount that you can pay and not just rely on that minimum credit card payment.
It's a fairly simple formula, but again, you know, the temptation to say like, oh, it's seasonal, it's a big shopping season, or, you know, something's coming up and everything like that. It really does come down, that's kind of the theme of this episode, it is just really having that awareness and discipline to, you know, take care of business. Derek Bollinger here at Coast 360, giving you the tools and the techniques to make sure that you use credit wisely.
This is made possible by our partner, Coast 360 Federal Credit Union. Together, we thrive.
Everybody, April is Autism Awareness Month, and I want you guys to get involved with this ABA, Applied Behavioral Analysis, because my good friend Lola Rosario is having a wonderful, wonderful forum on it, and it's about understanding the autism spectrum for any caretaker, parents, grandparents, godparents, siblings, everyone who has a part in shaping and understanding and caring for these wonderful, wonderful people in our community. So please get involved with Lola's project. Thank you, Lola, for undertaking that. All right. Also, coming up this weekend on April 12th and 13th is the Guam Koku Road Race. It is all weekend, so the 5K, Ekiden, and half marathon are happening on Sunday. That's supposed to be the day of rest. Well, maybe later on in the afternoon after we get a really, really good run in. And there's a high school division added where you can win for your school, represent your school colors. You know what? Wear them to the race, because that's awesome. I love seeing like JFK and GW's colors. And the kids run is on Saturday, so that happens on Saturday over at Ipao Beach. Make sure to check it out. There are 4 divisions, 4 to 6, 7 to 9, and 10 to 12. News Bites, midweek. Happy birthday to Laylee Borja. Look who turned 3 today, our one and only. Happy birthday, baby girl. Daddy and all your Ohanas are sending you all of their love. Zainoa Taigui, happy birthday number 13 to Bubs, and your family says we love you. Birthday number 21, happy belated 2-1 to Jevid Chrysostomo. Happy birthday, Jev. Love your family. Happy birthday number 82 to Miss Dolores Chargaloff. Happy birthday, Nana Ling, and thank you for all you do for our family. They are sending you all of their love and prayers and support. And Nyla Elise Aloka Akfadi, happy birthday number 2. We love you today and tomorrow and every day from your familia who says, happy birthday, baby girl.
Good night.
Two death investigations, shootings, carjackings, a stabbing, a deadly crash, and a massive manhunt that involved local and federal authorities. Hafidea McDelgado, you're watching The Hub, where America's stories begin. The KUAM News Team brought you special team coverage, Danger in Paradise, following a string of terror that unfolded across the island. In this episode, a look at the events and what local leaders have to say about it.
Good day, everybody. I'm Jason Salas coming to you live from Talafofo here on what would normally be a Sleepy Island Sunday. Obviously, it's been a very, very tense, very scary time for the Southern Village, as we did report that Jathan Tatautau was apprehended. He has been captured by the Guam police. I am going to speak with the Chief of Police, Stephen Ignacio, as I'm told, as well as Governor Lulian Guerrero, who is en route here. We are on Cross Island Road right now. Our Lady of Peace, the Memorial Gardens, is just about a stone's throw that way, of course, into the village. We are at that intersection right here between intersection 17 and 4A. So once again, the Chief of Police, Steve Ignacio, is going to detail exactly what happened on a very long night. There have been several very, very scary situations, incidents that have happened just over the last 3 days. Has really got the community spooked. So we're going to try and give you all the information from law enforcement and from the governor herself about exactly what has happened and what has transpired leading up to the capture, and if these incidents are in fact related. Now here is Chief of Police Stephen Ignacio and Governor Lulian Guerrero.
Have a day and good morning, everybody, to the people of Guam. So we're here to provide another update.
Residents at Windward Hills apartment in Zonia are still shaken up over the events of the weekend. This is where Jeremy Pangilinan carjacked the vehicle from an 18-year-old resident at gunpoint. A tenant tells KUAM he was on the second floor when he witnessed someone trying to steal his cousin's car in the parking lot just outside his door.
At first, I was just up here, right here on the balcony, just watching over, like, what's going on? I never seen that before. I saw the whole thing happen. I was like, holy shit. So that's when I ran downstairs.
At the time, he didn't know it was Pangilinan, who was on the run from authorities after shooting and attempting to carjack others in Talafofo.
He had a silver revolver, that's what I recall. Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
He says the suspect demanded his cousin's keys and threatened to shoot him.
So my cousin just gave him the keys, and then that was it. And then he started running away. Yeah, only for his safety net.
It's a terrifying moment for what he calls a relatively normal and peaceful neighborhood. Plus, he believes Pangilinan was able to evade authorities by hiding out beneath the stairs of the apartment.
I didn't expect him to be here. We did have a feeling he was under the stairs because there was a table that was like moving a certain angle. So maybe that was where he was hiding at the night before.
He says police brought canines to sniff out the area Monday morning. He also shows us a fresh trail in the jungle behind the apartments.
Like someone just made it, so I feel like that was him that did that. Run through the jungle, came over here, waited for the right time.
After a lengthy pursuit that spanned 18 miles from Windward Hills and Talafofo all the way to here on Isangsong Road, Jeremy Pangilinan was apprehended by Guam police and several other law enforcement professionals from agencies right here on this normally quiet strip of road, Stampa Road. Our community was glued to their screens at what Governor Lulian Guerrero described as a very frightening situation with the pursuit and eventual capture of Pangilinan.
As he was coming out of Swamp Road onto Isangsong Road, it appears that due to his excessive speed, he lost control of his vehicle, cleared the roadway onto Stampa Road, where he lost control and ended up in a ditch and into the jungle.
Oh, shoot.
Mobile video from a neighbor at the scene, shared countless times on WhatsApp, provided insight into an exchange of gunfire and ultimately Pangilinan's capture.
What is wrong here? Huh? As the officers were approaching, we heard, I believe the officers heard what may have been a single gunshot, and so several of our officers returned fire. He's been transported by medics to the hospital for treatment.
He's currently under tight watch at the Guam Regional Medical City, with Chief Ignacio saying the combined effort of a multi-agency response was able to handle the situation quickly with no injuries to any officers.
Reporting from Yigo, where a violent series of events began here with a kidnapping and shooting of a local resident. This set off a chain reaction of further violent events and episodes across the island. Today we speak with Yigo's mayor to learn more about how this has impacted the community.
You know, it's sad when you know, things like this happened, especially when it hits home. We just have to be mindful that you know, we can't take advantage of, we can't just go out there and do things on our own.
The violent ordeal began here last Thursday afternoon. The suspect's siblings allegedly forced a man from his residence into a silver sedan, the suspects attacking him before shooting him in the torso, leaving him for dead. The victim was later taken to the Guam Regional Medical City. His condition remains unknown at this time. Yigo Mayor Frances Lizama says her residents were quick to lean on one another.
We do have a chat group. People are posting on there, just trying to find out what's going on, and hoping to at least give the support of you see something, say something.
She cautions residents against taking matters into their own hands, urging them to call GPD immediately.
Le dije, vamos a hacer maldades. Pues yo te traje. Pago ya el mahones si no baila pa' que sale. Aquí están mis anormales. Que cabrón, tú mueves ese en el. Esto es pa' las nenas nuevas, pa' los nenes, pa' la tía.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
NBC's Wednesday primetime lineup comes into focus with Vision Express. Fast, fashionable, focused.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam.
The governor and the lieutenant governor were at the scene that unfolded in Talifofo over the weekend, both taking the opportunity to speak about the chaos as it happened. Take a listen.
Okay, well, of course, Governor Lulian Guerrero is too, and Gov, buenas to you. And obviously, the nature of these crimes is very, very frightening, and the fact that several of them have happened in such close frequency to each other. So, what message would you have to the villagers here and to our community?
Just to say that I think the chief and his leadership and team, and they're very strategically doing everything they can to get these suspects. Of course, the last couple of days have been, like you said, very frightening, and I just wanted the people of Guam to know that I am on top of this with the chief and our law enforcement people, the whole community of enforcement, FBI, and as the chief said, the National Guard and the military. So we're bringing in every resource that is available here on island. I want to say to the people of Guam to please be assured that the law enforcement that we have here are competent, they're capable, they're experts, they're trained in situations like this, and the results are showing. We've already arrested Jathan Tatautau. They're really very scrutinizing this place inch by inch by inch. I came here at the command station to give my support to our very hardworking law enforcement, and of course assure them that whatever resources we need to do, we will support them in that. And that is all just basically because we believe that the safety of our people is utmost priority, and we want to make sure that they feel safe in their homes. And this demonstration of the many resources and people that we have out, we're going to, of course, get the suspects, and justice will be served to the people of Guam. You know, information needs to be official. And I know people through social media, they have all these contacts, and there may be wrong information or misinformation out there that just continues the anxiety of our people. So I just want to make sure that the public gets their information from the official media sources. And also the police department is putting out regular updates. That is also an official source. So please, let's not try to spread misinformation, as it just makes our people more anxious. And I know the chief is going to have regular updates through the media. And that's where people should get their information. And it's very important too that if you have any information about the suspects or anything that you've seen that might be suspicious, please call 911. It's a very easy number to remember, because then the dispatchers will work with the police officers too.
These last 48 hours, we've seen some gun violence on our island. After speaking with him and learning about all the manpower and the resources that are being used, I'm very comfortable and confident that all law enforcement, including some federal assistants, are out there and are going to find this suspect and hold them to justice, the suspect and whoever his accomplices are. Guam's a very special place, and it's a very peaceful place, and we're going to fight to make sure that violent criminals like this are not going to take a run on our island. And so I'd like to ask the public to be very vigilant, especially the people here in Talofofo. Lock your doors. Make sure that you know the whereabouts of your loved ones. If you have family and friends, check on them. Everybody has family chats, right? It's always good to check in and make sure that everybody is safe. But the most important thing is, if you see something, you got to say something. And I think that's the best that we can do. I would just assure the community that there's a lot of resources that are being spent right now. There are officers, some of the best trackers on the island, that are out there searching. We're going to find these people, this person, and we're going to bring them to justice.
I know that the investigators will have to do the thing to kind of get to the bottom of the motives of these of the suspects, but the question has continued for the past 48 hours. What is going on Guam?
Well, obviously, when we see things like this, we have to assume that the underlying cause is the methamphetamine problem. Of course, I'll leave it to the law enforcement. They have to put their case together with the attorneys. But the reality is that we've had a long-standing drug problem. And this drug problem leads to many bad things. And there's many ways that we do about it. It has to be both interdiction and aggressive public safety, and on the other side, it's going to be the treatment and getting people out of a path that they shouldn't be on. But I know that there's some naughty people out there, people that don't deserve to be out in the community. Those people need to be in prison.
Talofofo is your home.
Yes.
You live just up the street. So what's going through your mind when you're seeing something like this, something violent like this, and now a manhunt happening so close to home?
Sure. Well, I'll tell you that in my own street, right, we have a neighborhood street watch, right? So I know that many islanders around the villages have the same thing, right? This is a time where we watch each other's back, not only our relatives, but our neighbors. And, this is a time where you should know who your neighbors are. In the end, right, people always take care of each other on Guam. And this is the time that we have to take care of each other, and we have to protect each other.
Any additional message you want to share with our viewers and our community as we continue to wait and search?
Well, I just want the community members to, this is a time, of course, to stay calm, but to be vigilant. Make sure that you take a look at your surroundings, secure yourselves. But also, if you know something, and this island is pretty small, people know things. Do your part and say something.
Final question: with the assumption of drug being part of the problem with the violence we've seen for the past 48 hours, all the manpower being used for tonight's search efforts, do you think that this warrants more resources and more funding to be poured into our law enforcement for just any type of drug interdiction or safety efforts?
Sure. I mean, that's our commitment is to expand law enforcement numbers, number one. I also think that we worked with Senator Dueñas to get legislation passed that allows us to tap onto other law enforcement agencies in the government and bring them out. In this kind of situation, what you're seeing is a suppression effort. It's a big investigation. People are working together to try and utilize every resource to keep the community safe. And we have to stay on that track. So I would say that, we're going to be having another class at police, another class at customs. The answer is that we have to expand the number of law enforcement officers. We expand the number of vehicles, give them the resources, give them training, and then work with the counterparts, with the feds, to try and make sure that we have the best team. We have some good talent, and we just have to expand them. And that has to be the posture in the upcoming budget. And in the future budgets, there always has to be an increase in the number of law enforcement officers and resources. And that's the posture that we have to be in.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
The Monday after all the string of crimes unfolded, Public Safety Oversight Chair Senator Shango Matautau introduced a measure. The bill would increase law enforcement workforce by authorizing temporary peace officer standards and training certification. The senator joins us to talk about this, but first, I want to get your thoughts on the events that happened over the past week.
You would think that it would not have, be kind of almost a sleepy weekend, just another weekend in paradise, but from the events leading into the weekend with the Talafopo shooting, it was really saddened by, as a public safety chair, that starting to hear more and more of these types of actions. Didn't realize it would come to my front doorstep. Actually, it was to the doorstep of San Miguel Church, where I'm a parishioner. We're at Mass, kind of heard about the shooting. Family and friends were saying, be careful out there. I said, well, then I'll just go pray for them today. Then as soon as we got out of Mass, then the calls and the WhatsApps got a little bit more intense, saying you need to go shelter in place. And that was pretty much the alarm bells for me and my family, and the families that were at San Miguel Church. Everyone went home. By the time we got home and locked everyone in the house and secured the home, it was just a wait and see, and it was a lot of anxiety, Nick. And I think for most of the villagers of Talafofo, I stay in As Lucas, I think all of As Lucas was on high alert. So this was an uneasy weekend, I think, an uneasy weekend knowing that this was happening, but a little comfort knowing that the GPD was in full effect. It was very, very harrowing for much of the early part of the evening on Saturday.
And you've worked in the news business, so you know what it's like as well. But now in your role in the chairing of the agencies like the Guam Police Department, this also shows the importance. The Chief of Police and the Lieutenant Governor who was on scene admitted to me that it's sad, it's unfortunate that it comes to situations like this that we realize our shortfalls, our shortcomings.
No, absolutely. And I've been working very closely with the Chief of Police and trying to provide resources. As I've told many of the public safety agencies and the emergency management agencies and the National Guard for that matter, is that this job, at least for me, will be all about policy. It cannot be about money. They need other ways to help them so that they can solve some of the bigger problems that they face resource-wise. But it does say to the community that their coordination for this was undoubtedly was really good. I mean, we got 2 of the 3 bad guys, and other issues are happening simultaneously. If you think about how stretched they were over the last 6 days, and they remain stretched. And I think our community needs to see this for what it is it's something's got to give. We need to do something important to support the priorities of our public safety agencies. And there's a lot of people will say, well, Senator, this is, it just can't be that way. What about education, healthcare? But I think people who live in Talofofo would argue that today, or the villagers in Yigo, and all along Route 1, or wherever the high-speed chase was at, business owners and visitors, we need to do something, and something quick, because this problem with drugs is really hurting our entire image, and it's hurting our community.
Yeah, that's something that the chief expressed as well, that he believes that there is a connection to the drug problem that we have on Guam with this incident that we had with the siblings. So that's kind of your sense? Yeah,
I think so. And I think the Lieutenant Governor was correct that some people need to be incarcerated. I know we live in a country of laws, but some of the things, like in this case, I'm hoping that the judges in the Superior Court, there's a provision of law about if you commit a felony on felony release, it's a mandatory minimum, I think it's 10 years. They got to hold the line. I'm hoping that they'll hold the line and really, show this community that we can't dictate what the judges are going to do, right? But my goodness, the statute is there to protect the people of Guam, and I'm hoping that the judicial officers you'll see the case for what it is, get the evidence, but especially a felony on felony release, it just has to be taken seriously.
In light of the chaos this past week, I wanted to ask you then, as Public Safety Chair, what are you planning to do about it? I know you have legislation introduced. We're going to get to more on that in a bit, but we'll take a quick break.
Sometimes parenting can be hard. What should I be doing? The Guam Early Learning Council includes partners who can provide you with early childhood services and supports. We are here to assist. For resources and information, simply call 311 Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., excluding holidays. Early connection can change everything.
Everything we build is from the ground up. Every great idea, every crazy idea, every next idea, every truck and everything in it. Everything you hear, everything you see, everything you feel when you drive it. We put everything we have into our trucks, so you get everything out of them. We're Ram. Trucks are what we do.
Public Safety Oversight Chair Senator Shango Matauta has put forward legislation authorizing the Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission to grant temporary peace officer certification for individuals who possess a degree in criminal justice or equivalent area of study and who are in good standing. He says he offers this measure as a responsible approach to recruiting college graduates who have invested their time and resources to earn a degree and begin careers as members of our law enforcement agencies. Senator Gumatauto is joining us on the Hub to discuss more. All right, Senator, so let's get right into this legislation you introduced. I mean, it's quite interesting how you came up with the method, and what was your tactic behind it?
Yeah, I was going to share with you, Nick, one of my very first meetings when I was inaugurated was with the Attorney General of Guam, and Doug Moylan offered up some insight to his workforce. And I know that it's not the conversations that you've been hearing recently about attorney shortages. We're talking about those that are really taking care of victims. Some of these law enforcers who are not in that eye like an attorney. And so it was that, and talking to my friends at the courts, there's ways that we can help those who are maybe right there at the edge to be able to serve right away in public safety agencies. So the measure is to allow the Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission to offer temporary licenses to these individuals. I worked very closely with my former boss at the Judiciary, John Lazama, to make this work. His input was critical with this. It allows those folks who are really at the, that can come in right now and get pro certification. These are professionals.
Criminal justice.
Yeah, majors, maybe the graduates that they need to get that last course either on firearms training, the EVOC training for driving the vehicles, whatever the case might be. It's very temporary. It allows them to, again, hopefully to go to a job, work for a while they're also getting those final training requirements that is required by Guam law. And the great thing is, to me, Nick, when I think about this, it's just how we need to recruit. There was like 25 or so that are right now that could start tomorrow and support. Now remember, even if we had 1, maybe 10 today, they would be offering a great assistance to our law enforcement community. But because of the way the statute's written, they can't. So I'm hoping this is a way to bridge that gap, get them working, and then hopefully this is used as others who are maybe finishing up their degrees. These are, these could be anywhere from probation officers to those guys in the parole division of DFC, obviously the Attorney General's office, the marshals, you name it. There's another opportunity for us to recruit them and get them in and get them to work right away.
We saw how much that need is there, especially with what happened in Talifofo. They had to call in. We saw conservation officers helping out in the search from Department of Agriculture. The feds came in, federal counterparts came in to help Guam police as well in the search. More than 130 law enforcement all at once. But I gotta ask, and I'm sure the public might have the same question, if these are just recent graduates who have yet to complete the requirements to become full-fledged law enforcement officers, what about the liability and risks of them being out there in the field?
There's been a lot of discussion on that. I mean, they're going to be closely supervised by some of the top law enforcement personnel on Guam. And it's not saying, okay, here's your badge, go and work. There's other parts to it that they're going to have to work in tandem with. But some of these, Nick, are transplants to Guam. We have military spouses that are coming here who would like a job. Some of them are considering relocating. They have the skill sets, they have the background, they have the years, but they don't have the post-certification. So there's a chance for those as well to be able to, hey, listen, I'm here for a couple years, or I'm here for the rest of my life. I want to be a part of the law enforcement team in Guam, and here's a chance for us to make that work for them.
You spoke to the judiciary about it at the courthouse. How's the post-commission feel about this?
Oh, I mean, like I said, I worked closely with my former boss, John Lazama. He's the head of the post-commission, and in fact helped us write the legislation. And we didn't just do this, Nick, overnight. We spent months preparing this. So I'm excited about the opportunity to be able to get the public hearing and get it on the floor of the legislature as soon as we possibly can. Nick, we need to ensure that the recruitment and retention of law enforcement officers is front and center and priority for our government. We have a lot of other needs, right? We do have education, we do have healthcare needs, but based on what we've seen over the last week, the amount of drug crimes, we don't think that's going to go down anytime soon. We need to do something right now, and I believe that this is just that first step, Nick, to ensuring that we can get the help that our public safety agencies need to combat crime.
All right, Senator Shango Matato, thank you so much for your time. Any final words you'd like to add to our viewers?
I would want to encourage the viewers we saw it over the last couple days. Heed the warnings of your public safety agencies. They're saying to shelter in place. They're doing it for a reason. We want to be more vigilant. When we're out there, take some time to check your neighbors and see if they're okay. Because as we found in the case in Anigua, it was just, this happened to be when one person was walking and stumbled on someone. These are things that are not happening, we're not used to in our community. And in 2025, we're going to have to change our mindset about how we view our island. We should be vigilant for the sake of all of our friends and family who call Guam home.
And watching each other's back.
Absolutely.
Senator, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Nick. Thank you again.
We'll be watching this legislation as it progresses and seeing what the testimony is like at the public hearing.
Absolutely.
Thanks again.
Thanks, Nick.
And as always, if you see something suspicious or know any information about the crimes that police are investigating, call 911 or GPD or report it on the Guam Crime Stoppers website. That's it for this episode of The Hub, where America's stories begin. Stay safe and see you soon.